Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are fine. Today, students, you will be watching the video clipping of the lesson chapter 5, and that is motion of the earth. Okay, here we are going to study the types of movements of the earth and their effects. First thing I would like to tell you about our planet. Earth is a very much unique planet, and it consists of both land masses and the water resources, and the presence of water and air makes life possible in it. As we have seen that the days and nights are different in every country. Just as if we have night in India, so there is day in USA, United States of America, and other parts of the world. This is due to the rotation or movement of the earth. Motions of the earth. Many life forms, live on the earth, just as human beings and vegetation present, you know, present is around the whole world. The life form needs of continuous supply of sunlight and water for sustain, and the energy from the sun reaches the earth every day in the form of heat to all parts of the world. So some parts of the planet are warmer and some are colder and some are too hot, and the movement of the earth causes the change in seasons, days, and nights. The earth rotates on its own axis. It is always spinning round and round like a top, and that tilts at one side. And this spinning, of the earth is called as rotation. The axis of the earth is, you know, positioned at an angle of 23.5 degree, and the earth rotates from west towards east direction. An axis can be defined as a straight line about which a body or a geometric object rotates. And there are different seasons, and that caused by the movement of the earth on its axis. And there are two important movements that affects the earth, and the first is the rotation of the earth around an invisible axis, and it takes about 24 hours and finish one complete rotation. And the second important movement, that is revolution around the sun. One revolution takes 365 days or 1/4 days in a year, and all spinning objects have an imaginary line, and that is called an axis on which they spin. Students, all the planets in the solar system move around the sun in their own certain constant motion. Okay, like other planets, our earth also rotates on its axis as well as revolves around the sun. While moving around the sun, the earth is believed to be lying on an imaginary surface or plane, and that is called the orbital plane. So these facts about the movement of earth were first discovered by Nicolaus Copernicus in the 16th century, when he stated that earth is not stationary. It only appears to be stationary. Okay, then after the concept of axis, axis refers to the imaginary line. Axis refers to the imaginary line on which a planet rotates. Earth's rotational axis is an imaginary straight line that runs through the north and the south poles. And in the past, around 4.5 billion years ago, an object of the size of Mars crashed into the Earth, means hit the Earth, and it knocked our planet over and left it tilted at an angle. Ever since the impact, the Earth has been orbiting the Sun at a slant, and this slant is called the axial tilt. Earth's slant is around 23.4 degrees and is decreasing, and it changes over the time through very slowly. The Earth always remains, tilted towards the pole star as it moves around the Sun, and the angle at which the Earth is tilted, that is known as the inclination of Earth's axis. The axis is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees from the vertical, and this means that if a line is drawn parallel to the plane of the Earth's orbit, the axis would make an angle of 66.5 degrees of this. Students, an axis is a real or imaginary straight, already explained, a straight line about which an object moves or spins. The Earth too moves around the Sun on an axis. Not only other planets, even Earth also moves around the Sun on its axis. And the Earth's axis is an imaginary line that runs directly through the center of the Earth, from the North Pole to the South Pole. Even though we cannot feel the Earth spinning, हम ये महसूस नहीं कर सकते हैं कि अर्थ भी स्पिन करता है, but it makes one complete turn each day around its own axis. The Earth axis is tilted. The Earth is also divided into two equal halves, or you can say hemispheres, by another imaginary line that is called equator. Equator is an imaginary line that around that in the middle, and then it crosses the Earth, or any other planets. The upper half, that it is called the northern hemisphere, and the lower half, that is called the southern hemisphere. Students, motions of the Earth, that is divided into two, that is rotation and revolution. And rotation is spinning movement of the Earth on its own axis, and it takes 24 hours or 1 day to complete one rotation, and rotation causes day and night. Then after, second part is revolution. Revolution is the movement of the Earth around the Sun in its own orbit, and it takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution, and revolution causes seasons. Thank you, students. It's all for today.